Yo! It's been a while, but I finally have another neutral guide for y'all looking at Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. These types of videos are highly requested, but these longer guides always take me a while to edit and are hard, so hopefully y'all will enjoy and support this one. Now, neutral has changed a lot, and Gogeta has a unique approach to it. First of all, he thrives the most in zones 1 and 2 due to his tools. Zone 1 is usually a danger zone, but Gogeta has the edge here. But you do need to use your good movement in order to bring yourself from zone 3 to closer in order to maximize Gogeta. Now I have a bunch of movement videos on the channel, but something specific to Gogeta is his double air dash to help. This gives him the ability to traverse 2 zones airborne, which pairs well with his air normals for pokes. So it's easy to quickly turn aggressive and close the distance. JL and JM are great air pokes here. You can staircase him down universally, or you can JM and spam JL up to 3 times. What's neat about this staircase is that if you keep your air dashes, once you get close to the ground with your JL, you can fuzzy with an ID JM to cross up, and this leads to a high-low mix in the corner from neutral. This extra air dash high usually hits, but you definitely need good awareness to pull this off from just a straight neutral hit. It also allows him access to easier whiff punishes in neutral. And against beams where people super dash on whiff now too, you can kind of treat double air dashing like a grounded dash blocks where you hold back after your air dash just in case to keep you safe. Now speaking about block super dashes, there are universal things, but you also have his double air dash to get more space. And he actually regains both of his dashes after using a jump when he blocks a super dash. It's interesting how you can dash back to escape then dash back forward to punish something committal. These situations can be hard to show, but you can get kind of an idea from what I'm trying to say here. On the ground, his 5L actually hits after a block super dash, so use that to your advantage. His air dashes also aids in defensive movements to retreat in case things get out of control, if they start to push their neutral tempo into their favor. You also get access to different movement patterns like dashing back to bait an approach, then dashing back forward, dashing forward to bait a counter, then dashing back to be safe, being able to change your landing sites after using one of your jumps, which most people aren't used to since they're only paying attention to your single jump. So being able to add aerial shimmies for your spacing, which pairs up great with his other pokes. Just remember that he can air dash after a double jump, but not double jump after an air dash. Similar to the air version, M is a great poke on the ground in zone 2, which can be achieved with a dash at the half. Same with the 2M, which is also a nice low option when sniping their landings, facing dash blocks, etc. Once you do get into zone 1, Gogeta can dominate with his auto combo, especially if they're floating or right above you. This can catch many people, forcing them to block, but be ready to cancel into your specials. Switching Lariats with flips can be nice to throw them off guard by changing up with overheads and plus frames. This is especially nice since his LLL is also an anti-air. You can also try a more advanced anti-air option with 6H due to its great hit stun and range, similar to Adult Gohan, but it's harder since it's not really an anti-air invo, it just reaches high. It can be nice to go into some nice high-low options on block though, which is neat for pressure if they block. And his best poke is with his unique 5S or JS. This has a great tracking in the far end of zone 2 and closer, which is amazing to out-prioritize their normals as they enter your range. It's very quick and hits spots that your normals normally can't reach where they have the advantage, like up in front of you as they pick up momentum to air you. This can help you win a lot of air to airs by hitting them from a further distance than most normals reach. And is great adding on to going backwards, like that super dash situation from earlier, so you can poke while you retreat. And doing this into flips auto confirms a hit or even a block. Adding this with backdash and front dashes gives you a very quick poke to quickly gain momentum in neutral. It's quite hard to punish on whiff and you can throw them out pretty quickly. Only thing is that if you rely on this too much, they'll start to super dash through it when they get close to beat it. Make sure you vary this strong poke with your normals when you do get close. It's still not as good as what you can get when staircasing them down, but it's nice that it can be used while at a disadvantage. Also, something cool with it is that it can deflect other ki blasts regardless of its priority level after being active for a few frames. This can lead to clashes at other times though. meaning at close range it can beat through Ki Blast. But it's nothing practical since it can't outfire multi-hitting projectiles, although it does make you look pretty sick. Just be careful of this dead zone right underneath you if you get too close, where flips or creating space is the better option. We covered zones 1 and 2, and as you guessed, he can't do much in zone 3 since he has no Ki Blast or beams, or can he? Last normal to come into play is 6S. Usually, you need to be able to move forward so in neutral, whether it's with movements, specials, long range cools, into vanish, high committal super dashes, etc. But Gogeta actually doesn't need to. He can charge his levels up and chill. Usually people wouldn't care if you taunt, but at level 7 you get a one hit KO. So leveling up in zone 3 forces him to take action to stop you and to advance forward. So this acts as a bait to force him to come to you, in which you can play around to counter. The more levels you have, the more antsy and fearful they become. So expect higher committal options when you get multiple level ups in a row, and the higher you get. Remember, you can always vanish or call assist if you really want to get the final level ups. When you do reach level 7, as soon as they call an assist, you can super up to kill that character, which you can see with the assist marker that pops up. Even if you don't catch their leading character with it, you still get a free kill. They can punish you in return, but it's not likely that they can kill from it, so it's a fair trade. And of course, you can kill their leading character as well from just stray hits. So leveling up and having level 7 puts you in a winning situation without ever having to move forward, which no one else can do. Now his specials, 236L distance is half the screen reaching one zone, M and H cover 3/4 of the screen, L and H are most practical, especially H to get full combos. His Lariats is great as you know because it also goes through projectiles and assist. Adding a dash from full screen makes M and H hit quickly. It's very useful after dash blocks to counter their zoning patterns and assist calls. But since they can tell you're charging it up when you dash, an advanced thing they can do is backdash to whiff punish. Although this is advanced, this makes it so that simply dashing towards them acts as a threat, in which you can dash again with your other pokes to counter their counter, aka footsies. These bigger Lariats can also cast their landings from further away as well, reaching further than even JS or S, and also beating out super dashes and aggressive options at times. So with assist, it's a great lockdown tool. It also helps his mobility even more, like when you run out of your air dashes, it can help you move back forward. And it's a quick way to get out of the corner, in which you can quickly turn defensive to offensive with his JS. His flips isn't as useful in neutral since it's a bit slower, but it can be helpful from zone 2 when they're in front and both above and below you, where the Lariats don't really hit. It's most effective after his 5S and JS to alternate with his Lariats in order to get plus frames or an overhead hit. Like when you're retreating quickly and they're pursuing you on the ground, it's a quick way to turn the tables. It's also a good way to quickly come back down after super jump height. But do remember, it can be 2H'd. 214S is a frame 4 counter that beats physical normals. On the ground, it's not really useful besides big callouts or reads, but it's mostly useful to counter super dashes in the air. You can buffer the 214 input while floating around, then pressing S on reaction to their super dashes. This is very useful when they're bleeding and want to tag out. Head into your tag bait patterns and then punish on reaction. You can also buffer this input after JS while it holds you up, especially since super dashing through this is a common option. But remember, it gets a lot harder to react the closer you are, which is why going straight into flips is better as it covers many options from JS. Now to conclude this video, remember to pair up his tools, pokes, forward movements with appropriate assists, and there's a bunch of unique synergistic opportunities with different teams. And also level 1, 3, and 7 all work as callouts to punish high committal options such as beams, super dashes, and more from anywhere on the screen, so don't forget to use that. Also, don't forget about all universal aspects on top of Gogeta's unique approaches. And tailor your neutral to your opponent. Highly aggressive ones require less forward approaches and more baits. Passive ones need to be manipulated more. And when facing solid neutral, this is when your own neutral mastery needs to come in with everything. Thank y'all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this guide. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.